Line up, you f***ing nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The Money Line. We are live on a beautiful Monday. It's UFC 326 fight week. I am AJ, joined as always by my guy Mike Finch. What's up, bro?
I'm good, AJ. Super excited to finally announce that MMA University is dropping, and AJ gave me the blessing, the honor, the respect of being able to drop it on this fucking show. Let's go.
This is a massive announcement. We even got the Finch man with a pro level commercial shoot that I'm gonna showcase for you guys here. So we'll kick it off now. Let's watch the Finch man go to work.
Welcome to MMA University. I'm your coach, Mike Finch, and today we're going over bag work. Move gloves. Super clean. And what I want to do is show you all the basics that you're going to want to be able to start throwing combinations and doing workouts on your heavy bag. They call it a cross because it comes across your body. You're throwing it from the rear side. The pivot brings my knee and my hip with it. With that pivot, then my shoulders turning over, and I extend my hand straight out. Notice that when I throw my cross, I'm not flaring my elbow out wide. It's gonna come straight from protecting my liver, and it goes direct to target. Now let's talk about some common mistakes on the jab and the cross. Our first round throwing the cross will be a 1-minute round where we're just turning our shoulder over and making sure that we have good technique. Similar to the jab, now I'm gonna stand right next to the wall to throw my cross with my rear hand being next to the wall. If you wanna keep working out with me, I can teach you hooks, uppercuts, overhand rights, full kickboxing arsenal. If you want to get a discount on the course, please click the link below and I will make sure that the first 100 people who sign up get 50% off. Welcome to MMA University.
Yes. Sensational from the Finch. And the link is below. The link is in the description of the stream so you guys can check it out. Finch, I know you've been excited about this. I swear to God, you mentioned this to me when we first started Moneyline years ago. And it's beautiful to see it finally manifested into reality here.
It was an idea. I first talked about it with my boy Cam Jam, and he's like, fuck it, let's do it. So we filmed over months of time. I mean, it really broke this thing down bit by bit and sort of, I've learned a lot of jujitsu through the internet. It's definitely helped me in my mixed martial arts game for sure. I mean, I think back to my second MMA fight. I swept the dude with an omoplata. I learned that from 10thplanetjj.com from just watching Eddie Bravo's instructional videos. So I know that it's changed my life and helped me a lot. And so I just wanted to see if I can actually improve upon what I've already seen out there. Like John Danaher is the best jiu-jitsu coach in the world, but he just puts these multi-hour, relatively unedited, relatively boring videos out there. All respect to the GOAT, John Danaher. But so what I want to do is make it a little punchier, a little shorter videos, quicker, and make it a little more course style where we just break it down into little pieces so you can say, hey, I'm going to accomplish this, or I'm going to focus on this today. And it's really easy to find what you want to work on. If you want to work on throwing Muay Thai elbows, if you want to work on throwing roundhouse kicks, you can go find that in the course at any time instead of it being just like one fat 2-hour, 3-hour video, So, and then you guys could see the edits that my boy Cam Jam put in there, where he's highlighting some of the motions. So just our baby, it's our first, it's not my actual baby who's in the room over there, but it's our first go at this with MMA University. And I hope you guys love it. I hope you guys all jump in and join it. It's going to be 50% off all week. All right. Just get it today. Go do it. And if it's successful, we'll just roll that money directly into working with UFC fighters, working with other people who we can then make instructionals with. So AJ, I am very optimistic that we can do a lot with MMA University, and I hope it helps a lot of people. I hope it can make it fun for people to try martial arts, because I've been a coach at multiple gyms, a manager at multiple gyms, and I know myself, like when you walk into a gym for the first time, it's nerve-wracking. Now imagine not even knowing martial arts. So it's also like a bridge just to get your feet wet a little bit, kind of have an understanding before you go take a bad class or before you go jump into a local gym. I hope people can do it in tandem with, working out with a coach or at a local gym too.
I'm excited, man. We got a dono for it, Finch. That's a good thing. OG Herb showing some love with the $4.99. He said, my striking is already better after that snippet. Congrats, Finch. It looks awesome. Hey.
Thank you, OG Herb. I mean, I know some good strikers be throwing some crazy shit. Jesus Aguilar is fighting on this card. His right hand looks like this, but I'm trying to teach people like like with this course, it was just what are the technical bread and butter like building blocks for striking, and that's kind of what I was trying to go for here. I've trained at King's MMA under Rafael Cordero. I've been able to train with Jason Perillo over at Ruka Gym. I've been able to train with Pat Curran for quite a while in Illinois, and kind of taking all of their styles and just boiling it down to like what are the fundamentals and what are the keys. And I hope I communicated that well in the course.
I think it's going to be sensational, Finch. So let's say it's step one. I joined. I'm in. I got my special gift from the Finch man. What is my first step for the people that are wondering about it, that want to get a little insight?
Well, right now it's half off. Is that what you're asking me? Like, go click the link and join the fucking
link first. And then let's say they started off.
Yeah.
You said, you told me a little bit about it. Modules, and it's like more of a course load and putting it together in a manner that's easy to understand. And like you were talking about, like John Danaher videos is just 5 hours of, techniques.
Yeah, it's supposed to be taken, front to back. So it's supposed to be taken like it starts with an intro and it kind of just walks through. Like I do like warm-ups first. I just had a student of mine, Caroline, shout out to Caroline, who, I'm like, hey, before we work out, like just come in and warm up first. So I have all the time to just train martial arts with you. And so she's like, well, I don't really know how to warm up. And it's like, okay, well, people actually need that. So that's the first thing we start with. So the course should be, especially if you're new, taken straight through. Some of my favorite modules in it, definitely some of the kicking. I texted Cam some of my favorites too, trying to remember which ones, because as I was taking it, I was like, oh, this fucking came out really well. We're texting each other about this war going on in Iran. We're not going to talk about it. It's an MMA show. We're not going to talk about it. Yeah, the elbow portion came out really well. So the elbow portion and the roundhouse kicks portion, those came out sharp, and we'll probably keep adding to it. Like, honestly, once you guys have access to the course, it'll be yours. And, we'll probably just keep adding to it. I want to do like a little outro, and whatever your feedback is, please let me know. I'm at Mike Finch MMA on Instagram, or at Mike Finch Show on Instagram for my betting channel. Please let me know what you think about the course, and it's a living, breathing thing. It's not static. So happy to add to it as I go along. Trading Champ, thank you for the $200 donation to start right. To a good week. I will be there in Vegas for my B-Day Saturday. Big 25. Finch, as a dad of a 1-year-old girl, the best is yet to come. So fun. W, Trading Champ. Thank you for the 200. Huge W, Trading Champ. Huge W. Huge W. Should I tell the people, Trading Champ? Maybe I shouldn't. Trading Champ DM me, and he's like, hey, I want to send you something for your daughter, like kind of like a baby shower type thing. So Trading Champ's got my home address. I might regret that. Huh? He might be fucking like, oh shit, is that Trading Champ? Happy birthday to Trading Champ. How about that? All right. Happy birthday to the true owner of the show, the great and powerful Trading Champ. And hey, if you have any advice for me as far as being a father is concerned, Trading Champ, as I have advice for you as far as picking MMA fights, I'd be happy to hear it. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Trading Champ. And Finch, don't worry, man. He's not going to knock. So, W Trading Champ.
I do own firearms. Okay. So just don't surprise me. All right.
Paku, thank you for the big 5. Big love to the boys. I'm back to sparring. Shoulder feels great and cut my fat ass down to cruiserweight. 75 pounds down, moving light, feeling fast. Paku, we're happy to hear you recovering and getting back after your dreams, man. So big W to Paku. And I look forward to hearing about the fighting debut on the way soon, man. W Paku, OG of the channel, been around for a long time and recovering from the nasty shoulder injury into sparring again. I think you'll be competing by the end of the year. I hope so. I'm excited to hear about it, bro. Keep us in the loop. Paku.
Nice, man. Glad to hear you're getting fit, bro. 75 pounds is crazy, bro. Good for you.
Savage. Listen, we love you guys. I really hope you guys do check out the Finch Man's MMA University. I'm excited to check it out myself. I'm on a cut right now. I've been leaning out like a madman, Finch. You know what I weighed today? You know what I weighed today, Finch? 189, bro. I'm fucking down 19 pounds for the new year. So
hit me with the weight again.
189.
189, bro. I'm 194. I weigh more.
You're ahead of me. You're big boy on me now, Finch.
Wow. Wow. I weigh more than you. That's wild. Okay.
I know. Right. I'm going 177, bro. Disgusting.
Wow. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to Comic-Con in July, and I don't know. I don't even know what character I'm gonna be. All I know is I'm gonna be fit. I'm gonna be a superhero. Okay. So I'll try to lean out around this summer.
Let's go.
And I've been sick recently, so I haven't been eating shit. So I was 199, now I'm 194. We'll see what happens, but I'll be working out too. Let's go. Good. W to the Finch, man, getting in shape. W to the Trading Champ. He's on the peptides. You're on the Retta. How you liking it, bro? I hope you get fucking shredded, my boy. Absolute W, man. He's asking if you're on the peptides. I'm not on the peptides. Should I be on the peptides? Me and Finch, peptide cycle? Bro, you know what? I've been thinking about it. I got a doctor's appointment. Just like it's the first time I've gone to a doctor in like years. Like, so I have just like a normal like physical and like just meeting with a doctor. And so when I go, it's like a week or two. I'm gonna ask about the peptides thing, and it's just because of my knees. You know, I got my knees kicked backwards with those oblique kicks, which I'm great at teaching, but unfortunately they work. So I'm gonna ask him about that if that'll help me, because they bother me sometimes, you know. So maybe the peptides, like the Wolverine stack, the BPC 157. Do I have that wrong? You know. So I'll ask what the doc thinks. W to the Finch. Healthy knees Finch. Paku, thank you for the 2. W nerd out Finch, man. I go to Comic-Cons every year, bro. Savage. Hey. Savage. Yo, it was hard to get tickets, bro. I had to wake up and shit. Like, we had to set an alarm. I got my ass up at 9 a.m. I'm refreshing the fucking thing. And, you know, we're going the Sunday, the last day of the con. So we'll see. It'll probably be fun. Me and my wife are, you know, go to Renaissance fairs and all types of nerdy shit. I love it, bro. And he's got the recommendation for you. Trading Champ approved. I trust it. Glow Stack. BPC TB for recovery, game changer. Okay. I will have to do my research. I am the most like, if I'm going to put something in my body, like I'm nervous about it, and I do a lot of research, you know, even when I'm sick. Like, I'm sick right now, I barely take medicine, you know. Like yesterday I almost took nothing. I don't know, in the back of my head I'm like, oh, ain't good, can't be good. So like when you bust a needle out, I'm like, oh, fuck this. Should I say who it was? I got a peptide from a former UFC fighter. And he gave it to me, and he's like, yeah, you just get a syringe, put it in your stomach. And bro, I just never did it. I'm too chicken. I couldn't stick a needle in my fucking stomach, you know? So maybe I got to get over that. Listen, man, the Glow Stack from the Trading Champ. And he's even telling you a good investment strategy
invested into the peptide company. So, and Trading Champ knows about money, Finch. We're learning on this show. It's more than just MMA picks. We got financial advice from a Savage approved.
I see some of Trading Champ's trading videos. Yeah, he don't play no games.
Let's go. W Trading Champ. W people. W peptides. We're taking over, man. Listen, we got a W card this Saturday that we got to start breaking down. All right. I just quickly want to touch on big performance for Leonard Kavanaugh. Pulls out the upset win, shuts down Moreno. He looked clean on the feet. I think Moreno he 100% lost. I thought it was, pretty clear Kavanaugh. And damn, you lose to Charles Johnson, you just become a world-class contender. I don't know why that works that way, but as of late, whatever Charles Johnson touches you with, a good shot on the feet, pulls off a KO against you, you're on track to being a UFC champion. So he's got like a golden touch or some shit, man. Right? What the fuck?
That's true, dude. Yeah, I should have gone with my gut. Like, my gut was like, I like Leonard Kavanaugh. Like, when I watched Leonard Kavanaugh fight, I'm like, wow, is he technically sound? He's explosive. He's patient, though. He's relaxed. But all of the intangibles he's taken, he gets tired in some previous fights. He just got knocked out. Now he's going to take this thing on short notice at high elevation in a 5-round fight. I'm like, okay, all this makes sense that Brandon Moreno is going to win the thing. Of course, you got to win the martial arts in the cage. And so when I'm seeing the fight play out, even halfway through the first round, I'm like, oh, like Leonard Kavanaugh is a much better striker and Brandon Moreno can't take him down. Brandon Moreno's fucked. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, was I mad at myself. So Brandon Moreno just clinched him against the fence and threw like half-ass knees to his legs. How was that supposed to win the decision? And dude, he won 2 rounds doing that. They gave him 2 rounds doing that. He just needed 1 more. So, it wasn't like the judges didn't want to see Moreno win. You know what I'm saying? It's just Leonard Kavanaugh's striking is very fucking impressive. And he was happy to be pressed into that fence. He was perfectly happy to stay there. Now his corner is silly. They're like, you're up 4 rounds. What do you think, coach? 4 rounds? You think 4 rounds? Yeah, we all say 4 rounds. Yeah, you were all fucking wrong, okay? And you could have cost him the fucking fight. But 3 rounds to 2, he gets it on 2 of the judges' scorecards. And he deserved it. He did more damage. Damage is much more valuable nowadays. Like maybe, during the Randy Couture era, you could have scored that thing 3-2 for Moreno. But there was a lot of damage done by Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh was the rightful winner. And I think he grew a lot from that experience, man. Leonard Kavanaugh coming in, getting a main event win like that against a former champ like Assassin Baby. Assassin Baby is going to need to be much more consequential than that. He didn't hurt Leonard Kavanaugh in 25 minutes, and that cost him the fight.
Cost him in a big way, and he got handled by sharp striking prospect on the rise who thinks got a lot of promise, man. So,
bro.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah,
he's got to fix that stance, dude.
It won't happen though. Too late.
Yeah, Davison Figueiredo was the first one to expose that calf kick. Mm-hmm. I told you before the event, didn't I? Because I was watching them spar, and I'm like, dude, they were going calf kicks. It was Felipe Bunez versus Davison Figueiredo, and I was one of 10 people in the gym getting to watch it, me and Billy Barnes, actually. And he was just ripping calf kicks on Felipe Bunez. I'm like, oh, that's the game plan, huh? Nobody had to tell me. And then he goes out there and he calf kicks Brandon Moreno to a title take back. So Brandon Moreno, that calf is just sitting out there to be had.
Well, in a big way for Kavanaugh. I mean, I think he may have just jumped himself up to like a Brandon Royval type of fight after this one. He's a fight night main event slot next up too.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. And Assassin Baby's an exciting fighter, but we need more with the chain wrestling. Like he gets the body lock and then he's like, all right. It's like, bro, what? Like we need to work here. Do we have single legs? Can we switch to the double? Can we climb up the back? Can we step in and hit a trip? Yeah. Did you watch the wrestling this weekend?
Watch the highlights. I watched the freaking little brawl that went down between Arman and Giorgio after the fact. That was sensational.
Yo, you didn't watch the whole match though.
Nah,
Okay, so you know that Arman Sarukian's a fucking hothead, and that Arman Sarukian, you get in his face at weigh-ins, he's gonna headbutt you.
Yes.
He's a wild man, hand sanitizer boy. But this guy Giorgio, that's his name. I watched the whole match, but I don't really is like YouTube wrestler. This guy is like he does the sign outside, take me down for $1,000, whatever. By the way, completely natural. Totally natural. Totally natural.
Freakishly jacked, bro.
Freakishly natural.
Like Vitor Prime natural stack type shit. You know what I'm saying?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He deserved it. Bro, he like gouges the eyes. He was
wrestling dirty. Yeah.
Oh, it was bad. Kurt Angle on the broadcast is like, oh, it was a legit push. Kurt Angle, get some glasses, man. He pushed his eyeballs. That was bullshit, man. Clubbing him in the head, slapping him. Like, people call it slaps, and some of them were slaps, but some of them were clubs. I learned very young from a Boss Rutan instructional on VHS tape how to palm strike, which Boss Rutan mastered in King of Pancrase, where you couldn't close your fist. And that's what he was hitting him with. It was the palm, and power slap. They use that too. They try to hit the person instead of slap them. Man, he should have been DQ'd. I mean, really, he should have been DQ'd against Arman. He does an interview with Colby Covington afterwards where he's like, hey, aside from the points that they awarded him, I would have won that thing. Bro, shut the fuck up, dude. You should have been DQ'd and sent home. First of all, you got your ass taken down. They gave him 2 points. I know the judges off the mat ended up reversing it to 1 point because they were out of bounds, but everybody saw you 100% try to defend that takedown and 100% fail to defend that takedown. And he out wrestled you, and it's not even his sport. He's an MMA fighter. No, we're not going to see that rematch. And that dude's an idiot.
There we go. The Finch man. Savage take. I love it. I don't
like that guy. I don't like seeing people slap each other and this type of shit. It's wrestling,
Yeah, no, it's not wrestling. That's dirty tactics for sure. Doing? Yeah. Agreed, Finch man. Father Finch pulls no punches, chat.
I get no respect.
I respect
that.
It.
What comedian is that? Get no respect. I get no respect.
He's an OG. I don't remember his name.
Is an OG, Rodney Dangerfield.
There we go. I could see his face, but I forgot his name. I swear to God.
That's an ugly face. Only thing uglier than his face is his wife. You would understand if you listen to his comedy. He's always ragging on how his wife sleeps around and how ugly she is. All jokes. Rodney Dangerfield is great, by the way, if you guys want to listen to some of his one-liners. Henry Cejudo beat Uriah Faber pretty handily, too.
Henry Cejudo expected, though. Gold medalist versus Faber. I'm not surprised.
Now it's going to be Cejudo versus Merab in wrestling. Who do you got?
Merab, I'll pick.
What?
Yeah.
Henry Cejudo all day.
You think so? I don't know.
All day. Because Henry gets to lower his level. True. So if you look at the way he's taken down Uriah Faber, it's just those little ankle picks. Just those little he just lowers his level and just shoots his hands out there. Merab ain't gonna stop that shit.
There we go. Finch man with the RAF predictions on the way. What the fuck is going on? You know that shit well, so
I had fun watching it. I did.
W Finch.
I used to wrestle. You know that, right?
Of course I knew.
Look at a varsity high school wrestler, dog.
All class, varsity, baby. Oh shit.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. W Finch, man. I'm excited for the breakdown. You ready to get into these fights?
Let's run it.
All right. UFC 326. I'm hyped for this card. Smash the like button. Subscribe it up. Let's go fight number 1. Luke Fernandez, the prospect, versus Rodolfo Bellato. I'm going to pick the upside prospect to get it done here, but I do think Bellato is no pushover in the matchup. He's still an aggressive pressure fighter with, pretty decent flurrying hooks, and he does have some nice leg kicks, and he's a big body, right? He's going to have a little bit of a size advantage, 6'3" to 6'1", and he imposes his will fairly well. But the problem with Bellato is he doesn't do anything technically that well. And say what you want about Luke Fernandez, unproven for sure, but good precise boxing, a nice check left hook, fast hands, good grappling game, has some competitive experience in grappling, beat Phil Hawes by submission in grappling, beat Eric Anders some time ago. So the well-versed MMA game of Fernandez, and I think just a more technically sound fighter in Fernandez, should be able to outwork Bellato here. I do feel like this is a matchup that could end up being a 3-rounder, and I'm favoring the side of Fernandez for sure. But decision won't shock me, actually, in this matchup, even though I think Fernandez could potentially catch him with that nice left hook. Bellato, outside of fighting Vitor Petrino, has shown to have pretty good durability. So I'm going to go with Fernandez, calculated and smart performance, outworking Adolfo Bellato. I also can't really get over Bellato's reaction to that, light illegal up kick from Paul Craig. So I don't know with Bellato. I don't trust the fight IQ. I think Fernandez is a bit smarter, but Bellato's a big boy. But ultimately, Fernandez, I think, is the more technically proficient fighter with more weapons, and I'll pick him.
Brother, I think Fernandez is gonna knock his ass out. Fernandez got power. He comes in. I like how he crashes in with the shots too. He's like moving his head off the center line and crashing in with shots. And then anytime you start worrying about him punching you in the head, he takes you down. And so I think he's got it in all 3 phases against Bellato. And if you look at what this thing opened up at, it was like even odds when this thing opened up. So I'm fucking kicking myself because now it's what he's like minus 230, and it's his UFC debut. I'm like, I feel like I missed out, bro. I got a little FOMO or something. I don't know, that sucks. Shit. I think Fernandez is gonna fuck Bellato up. And the Oscar worthy, actually, he's a bad actor. He's not Oscar worthy. It's he deserves it.
C-list, bro.
He deserves it. Okay, the UFC is trying to get this guy out of here, and they gave him a real prospect. I think Fernandez is going to be a UFC fighter for a long time.
Me too. I think Fernandez has a lot of skill. I like what you're saying about the Fernandez knockout, because you're right. He does have 5 KO wins. And the one guy that went distance against him, Christian Edwards, who's, 6'5", lanky kickboxer. Remember when Christian Edwards was supposed to be like the next John Jones?
Yeah,
obviously
absolutely.
Hasn't lived up
Christian
to
knows me.
W. Christian Edwards, man. Bellator prospect.
Yep. That's right. Yep. And Jackson Wink too. Yeah, a little bit of drama with the stuff outside of the cage that I won't bring up. But talented striker, long rangey guy, makes sense.
And Fernandez handled him, pulled off a nice win there. I think Fernandez, I see a clear path to victory. He's just better than Bellato. I think, does Bellato's chin hold up? That's really what I feel like it comes down to. But you're right. Fernandez by knockout is a possibility. I went decision or knockout live, but I definitely hear what you're saying. And Bellato's defense is not necessarily a strong suit. Fernandez catches him in the pocket. Down goes Bellato. If Petrino did it to him, why not Fernandez too? And if you look at Bellato's UFC fights, like, to be honest with you, you really look at them closely. He fought and lost his last one to Navajo Sterling. As good as a technical striker Sterling is, he doesn't have much power. The Paul Craig fight was weird. Jimmy Crute had him rocked, and Crute's a grappler. And then Potieria was boxing him up, and then obviously he was able to get him down. And then, the Mirza Talha win on Contender Series in round 2. It's not that impressive for Bellato, and I think it's a setup fight for Luke Fernandez. Fernandez W all day. I feel like minus 220, though, is still not terrible. Like, especially if you just 2-leg parlay in it, you put Luke Fernandez on the lineup, not a bad look at minus 220 to get you to even money with something else.
Fair enough. Yeah, you can't be too discouraged about lines. It's really about confidence. And just looking at these two matching up. You mentioned Petrino. I think Fernandez is better than Petrino, brother.
I think that's live. I think definitely seems like he's got a higher IQ, which goes a long way in this game. And he's a minus 220 favorite, not crazy. The knockout minus 140. So not too much magic on the knockout side. If you think it's possible he wins a decision, plus 450, but ultimately that will be relying on the Bellato chin more than anything else.
And just to respond to our boy Trap Lord here, what's up, Mike, Finch, and AJ? What's your opinion on everyone in the betting community having back-to-back shitty bet weekends? My recommendation is join Free Channel, because we went undefeated these past 2 weeks, okay? It's completely free. It's in the description of every video on my channel. How the fuck are you not there to make free money? Shameless plug, AJ. Thank you.
W to the Finch. W to the Finch. Let's go. Let's keep running. We're both going Fernandez, and I feel like the confidence is high on both sides. Up next, we got Gaston Bolaños versus Ji Yoon Lee. I'm going Ji Yoon Lee. I think Gaston Bolaños is essentially bankrupt on the ground, and he's also moving up a weight class. And I get it. Ji Yoon Lee just got handled by Willie Cat Daniel Santos, but Santos is pretty good. He got knocked out by Hyder Emil fighting stupid. But Gaston Bolaños, to beat him, I just have a hard time foreseeing that. UFC wins are Aaron Phillips and Cortavius Romeois. Got knocked out by Marcus McGee, got subbed up by Kwang Lee. I really think that another Lee is going to take Bolaños out. And I look back to Lee fighting Blake Builder. He took him down. He controlled him. I think that Blake Builder is a better fighter than Bolaños. And moving up in weight at, 33 years of age, trying to pull something out of his ass here and turn it around. I've never thought Bolaños was good, dude. I remember him from Bellator being a bit of like a busted prospect. And I just felt like he was overrated as hell. And just because of, a bit of kickboxing pedigree and Muay Thai, he came in with more hype than necessarily deserved. And he never seems to have developed a ground game. And even though you might be thinking about Lee as more of a striker, I think he's way more capable as an MMA fighter. And with the size advantage, should be able to impose his will. But I will say the problem with Lee, bit of a dum-dum. We saw the fight against Emil. He just tried to swing crazy. It was dumb. But I think he's still capable of taking a Bolaños out, who's 8-5 as a pro and a bantamweight moving up in weight. Ji Yoon Lee still won the road to UFC. He's not that bad. I'm not saying he's that good, but, he got a decision against Yijia in a close fight. And Yijia, he got robbed against Khan Ofli, but I pick him easy over Bolaños. So I think Lee should clear in this one. And Bolaños, I'm not saying he's Jose Medina, but he's on that, cusp of getting cut type of matchup here.
Right. I have the exact same breakdown that Lee is. I can't trust Lee. The way he'll bang it out with you. Who did I just watch him slug it out with? I must have wrote it down here. Hyder Emil. Oh my God. Where he just kept engaging. He was rocked and he just kept. It was like it was like when you're playing the UFC game and you got your cardio's all the way out, but you just keep fucking banging it out. It was absurd. It was like, dude, clinch. Don't you have any other move your feet? Circle away from him. Hyder Emil's arms are like that long, So yeah, AJ called him a dum-dum. I think that's about right. So that's an issue. But Gaston Bolaños is not very good. So that's another issue. I think Lee's much better. When Lee's in his stance, he's nice. He actually has some decent timing and striking. And I like his game. I think he should be able to beat up a Gaston Bolaños. I said plants his feet sometimes for no reason. Really, if he could just not plant his feet, he's pretty solid in the green zone. And when he comes in with a couple pop, and then just move, dude, just don't plant your feet and stay there. Because when he plants his feet and stays there, he's got a big old, hot air balloon head. People punch him in the head, and then he just he gets silly. So is he reliable? No. Is he better than Gaston Bolaños? Probably. Gaston Bolaños, was he a favorite against Kwang Bang Lee? I gave Kwang Bang. Yeah, he was. I gave Kwang Bang Lee out as my lock of the night back in May. And he was able to beat up and strangle Gaston Bolaños by the second round of that fight. I think striker versus striker is probably a better matchup for Gaston Bolaños. Gaston Bolaños has shown to have good cardio and got a little bit of experience at this point. But I'll go with Lee. Maybe decision.
Yeah, I'm with it, man. We both were on Kwang Bang Lee lock that week against Bolaños, and he absolutely brought the heat. And I think
dog money.
Yeah, that was nice, right? And now we're looking at it minus 250. So we don't have any, exciting line to hype up here. But Lee should win the fight as a minus 250 favorite. He deserves to be a fair size fave. More natural featherweight as well. Should handle. Does he finish him? I feel like he might just win a decision.
The thing with picking him by finishes, he's going to throw himself into the fire. And then it's like, now we're flipping my Dogecoin. You know what I mean? Now we're, I hope he doesn't. I hope he just comes in there to win rounds, and he'll do fine against Gaston Bolaños. Is my tongue blue? Yes. I've been drinking some electrolytes because I'm sick. So sorry, guys.
There we go. Blue. It's good luck. Blue tongue Finch and I both
blue
going
teeth.
Lee for the W. in this spot, and he should show out. Next fight on the card, we got light heavyweights going after it. We have Rafael Tobias versus Dr. Nurgozhay.
Why does Tobias look like he's watching somebody slam his wife from the corner, bro? What's going on? He's like peeking in. It's like he's cracking through the door here. What's going on with this?
This is the only pick they had, man. This is what I got from ESPN. Blame them, not me. Listen.
Couldn't get his okay. All right.
This is it. This is what they had. I think I gotta go Tobias, man. Nurgozhay, he's got that weird twitch that he constantly does, and I swear to God, it makes him so susceptible to getting fucking hit and taken down. He's got decent head kicks for, a little bit more of like a chubby light heavyweight, but Tobias has got a power set, Brazilian Muay Thai, heavy hands, decent ground game. I feel like he should be able to get this fight to the ground. Nurgozhay is seemingly bankrupt when fights hit the ground. But I'll say this with Tobias. I don't necessarily love that knockout loss he had a while ago to Miguel Porto. Granted, nearly 3 years. And he's a young guy at 22. Seems to have some upside, physically strong, powerful puncher, aggressive style. The thing is, his Contender Series fight, the dude he fought was a blown-up welterweight. And he mauled him. Then he eventually subbed him. I think he should be able to back Nurgozhay up and probably take him down and beat him by submission too. He just seems like such a better athlete. Nurgozhay, he's just, I guess he just reminds me of like a light heavyweight schlob, dude. Just a little bit chubby, like it's kind of quick, but I don't see him doing well against, many of the prospects. And I think Tobias has a bit of upside with his aggressive power. And, I think he's got a solid jiu-jitsu game. He does have 6 wins by sub. So you think a knockout, but he's got more submissions than KOs. And I think in this fight, exposed the flaw. Nurgozhay seems to be a pretty weak grappler. I'm going to say Tobias wins against Dr. Nurgozhay in this one. I just can't trust in Nurgozhay here.
Tobias has the exact striking style I always preach against in MMA. It's relatively flat, stands right in front of you. He's kind of a slow guy, and it's just like that classic Muay Thai stuff. I don't like it, but at least they're the bigger boys. So, like at the lighter weight classes, it won't work. Like you're just getting fucked up with that style in 2026 at featherweight, but up here it's okay because he's got power. I do like his takedowns. I do like his ground game. He's definitely dangerous on the ground. And we've seen Nurgozhay get Kimura'd in the UFC. We've seen him have issues on the ground. He was taken down in Eagle FC by Konstantin Andreevtsev. And then, of course, as I mentioned, he was swept and subbed with that Kimura in the UFC. I think Nurgozhay has an advantage on the feet. That left head kick he's got is fast. That thing comes out of there, guns a-blazing. He throws it hard too, and he can bomb on you with big shots. Kind of stands with his hands down a little bit, but I like it because he's got a little bit of a bounce to it. And with Tobias just kind of standing in front of you like a fucking statue, bam! I don't see why he doesn't punch him in the face and sit him down one time. But how does it go after he hurts him? Maybe Tobias can get a hold of him. And if Tobias gets on top one time, I think it's over. Nurgozhay has shown to have pretty shit jiu-jitsu. And that's an issue here. So I'm going to lean Tobias, but I'll be honest, bro. I did a lot of tape study on this card, specifically this fight. I've got all these notes on these fighters, and I had no prediction at the end because I don't like either of these guys. There are major problems, right, with betting on either of these guys. I think Nurgozhay is going to try to knock him out. If he doesn't put him out cold, I think Tobias eventually gets a takedown and strangles him. I'll go with the grappler.
I like what you said about Tobias and his style, because that's the thing about him, right? He's like squeezing his hands so hard, and it's that Muay Thai style that's just so fucking stiff, and it doesn't really work at a higher level. But Nurgozhay's takedown defense might just be bad enough where he ends up on his back. And I think Tobias should just wrestle, man. I think Nurgozhay also, he's a bit pudgy. I don't think he's too physically strong. He's not athletic, but he's got good dexterity, surprisingly nice head kicks. It's one of those fights, man. I don't know. Tobias, I think he might be a little chinny, right? And could Nurgozhay catch him? Do you think this fight goes under a round and a half? You think it's quick?
Like I said, I didn't write down a prediction because it could go so many different ways, man. You got You've got a risk of a head kick KO in 30 seconds. Yeah. You got a risk of Nurgozhay, who's southpaw, by the way. So think like low hands, southpaw. I mean, he could just slam a shot in there. You could just see Tobias just going to sleep. So if it's Nurgozhay, it's early. Yeah. But honestly, Tobias too, because if Tobias gets a takedown, Nurgozhay's goofy ass is going to put both of his hands on the mat and get strangled for sure. So now that you just made me answer that question, I've realized after the description, yeah, this shit should end in the first round. These guys aren't good enough. Like, if you guys, you ever been to an amateur card, AJ? Like a full amateur MMA event? Yeah. So I used to do commentary. I still do commentary. What did I say? Used to, but like very frequently. I've commentated, I don't know, 100 amateur MMA events, and amateur MMA fights finish. Okay, the average fight ends, it finishes. Why? Because they're not that good, right? Their defense isn't that level, their footwork isn't that level, they get hurt and they don't know how to recover, right? That's where this is, unfortunately. Like, Nurgozhay's got such holes in his game on the ground that it'll end there, and Tobias is bound to be KO'd in the UFC. So yeah, I think they get it done under round and a half. That makes sense.
-110 under a round and a half. I don't know, man. This is just a wild take. Not saying I think this happens, but I'm looking at Nurgozhay KO round 1 plus 1,150.
You're kidding.
If he just catches him with some wild shit.
Don't even tell me that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
don't know. I can't, like, it's not like a confident call, but I'm looking at the odds of it. I'm thinking to myself, the way Tobias fights is straight guns blazing. If he can't get Nurgozhay down and he doesn't hit him with a big looping shot, he could get caught. He's chinny for sure. And he's really fucking stiff. And on the other side, Tobias, could he end up taking Nurgozhay down, pulling off a submission? I think it's possible. But I'll say this, and this is my educated take doing this for years. This is a low-level MMA fight. And it's not necessarily the best financial investment side. As much as Tobias, you're going to look at him, he's a big, scary prospect. Sure, he probably has a great chance to win, right? At -220. But if Nurgozhay somehow find a way to get to him, let's be honest here. Nurgozhay came off the Contender Series with a lot of hype. Nurgozhay was a guy that I had a lot of faith in off Contender Series. Then he missed weight, and then he looked terrible in his past two. So then I realized, okay, maybe not. But I also was not really that impressed by Tobias. He fought a guy that was a welterweight. You know, Bartosz Shefwick, who Nurgozhay knocked out, is a lot more legit than Tobias's opponent, Jair de Oliveira. So I just don't know with Tobias. It's like, I don't want to pick Nurgozhay because I just don't think he's very good. But I also have low expectations on Tobias. So to me, it seems like a stay away at -220, which, you know, you could then say, well, if you feel kind of coin flippy, why not just go the dog?
Yeah.
You know, it's fair. It's a fair take. That's why I mentioned the first round knockout Nurgozhay at +1150. I don't know. You want to be a D-Gen Savage?
You know, I was gonna say when you were just talking about Nurgozhay, you're like, yeah, is his takedown defense that you're saying his takedown defense might just be that bad, which is funny because if you listen to his fights in Eagle FC, they're like, oh, his wrestling, his outstanding wrestling, he's a great wrestler. So you know, by the way, the commentators on the last Eagle FC fight I watched, holy shit, they were bad. But that's what they were saying. Maybe they're just wrong. Maybe they're just so bad that they even have that wrong. But yeah, if he has a little bit of wrestling, bro, get you know, stuff a takedown or two, let his hands go a little bit. First round KO for Nurgozhay in the cards. You know, I used to for Premium Channel where I give out my favorite bets. I used to do wild card. You know, whereas like
I like that.
Like, you know, and Nurgozhay +1000. I'll look at it.
I might fucking wild card it with you. If you do it, I might do it with you. Nurgozhay KO round 1. +1150. It's not a crazy take, bro. Like I don't know. Tobias, that stiff Muay Thai style, it's not modern MMA. It's not. It's powerful, you know, striking if he lands. But shit, what happens if he gets caught? Like it's just there's no movement, right? You're just like Daniel Zellhuber. He's stiff as a board. This is stiffer than Zellhuber. You know, so we'll see.
It's fucking Pedro Hizzo, like
old
Mark
school
Coleman shit. You know, it's Yeah, it's easy to, you always know his location. He's always got his phone location on. So, you know, Nurgozhay sends one of those bombs up there, it'll probably land.
Let's go.
Did I just pick flip live on there? No, I don't know. I'm concerned Tobias strangles him because, Nurgozhay was in top side control. Maybe it was half guard. And as soon as he got, it was a double wrist lock on bottom.
Yeah.
As soon as his arm went behind his back, he didn't know what to do. He was, oh no, he got swept, and then it went all the way through. It was pretty bad. So you show me that level of, and you know, I'm a bit of a jiu-jitsu guy myself, so it could be my bias, but you show me that hole in your game, I'm like, man, can't bet on you, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Nurgozhay, the money line, even at fucking plus 185, it's like, no, I'm not going to throw money at that, because to make anything, you got to throw some heat. But, you know, plus 1,000, you can make a quick little $100 for $10. You know, that might be worth a DGen risk. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're going to bias, though. Don't get us twisted, but there is a pathway because he's a stiff-ass striker. And if he can't get Nurgozhay down, the 22-year-old Tobias might be getting knocked the fuck out by a southpaw. Another thing, too, he's a southpaw. That southpaw style is a step up. Listen, for Nurgozhay, I don't think this is too much of a step up in competition from Uran Sadi Baldiev and Brennison Ibero. But for Tobias, he went from Jair de Oliveira, who is teaching cardio kickboxing, to fighting. You know,
hey, I teach cardio kickboxing. What the fuck are you trying to say about us cardio kickboxing teachers, doc? I'm playing.
Hey, listen, we'll see.
My class.
We'll see.
Wednesdays at 8 p.m., bitches.
Wednesdays at 8. Go check out the Finch cardio kickboxing. He'll be fighting on Contender Series at this rate. Holy shit.
I'm playing. Yeah. Hey, that's a solid point. Yeah, Tobias is the newcomer, so factor that in too. I definitely could say I think he's overpriced. Yeah, agreed. So let's keep moving. Next fight on the card, we got Sumudaerji versus Jesus Aguilar. I don't trust Sumudaerji against guys with wrestling and submission threats, man. Even though Jesus Aguilar has the T-Rex arms, he can still close the gap and land some big overhands. He's a pretty competent boxer, and he's got a nasty gilly, and he's got good takedowns. And honestly, his knockdowns against Luis Garule were impressive. I mean, Alden Correa was cracking Garule, and Aguilar was able to actually put Garule down a couple of times. So Garule, you know, I think he's got a decent chin, and Aguilar maybe didn't knock him out, but he hurt him. I'm thinking about Aguilar striking and in close range in that red zone. If they do clash in close, I think Aguilar can touch him over the top. But the only way Aguilar could land shots in the pocket is if he also threatens with wrestling, which he's going to do. Sumudaerji's weakness is wrestlers. Mitch Raposo was taking him down, and I don't rate Mitch Raposo very high. And I just have doubts. I think everybody's riding high off Sumudaerji because he outstruck Borjas, but Borjas doesn't grapple. Borjas just strikes. That's a perfect matchup in hindsight. That is a perfect matchup for Sumudaerji. Don't threaten him with takedowns. You give him strikers. He does well. You look through his UFC career. Against strikers, beats Kevin Borjas, right? Beats Zaruk Adashev, who was a striker. Knocked out Malcolm Gordon, who granted was a grappler, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's Malcolm Gordon. But when he fought guys with some sub game, Louis Smolka subbed him in his UFC debut. Got submitted by Matt Schnell after hurting him, but, you know, still, Matt Schnell strangled him. Tim Elliott mauled him on the ground. Went distance with Charles Johnson in a very kickboxing-heavy fight. Aguilar with a bit of submission threat, with a wrestling pressure game, and also being real small. Like, Aguilar could be hard to hit clean for the tall and lanky Sumudaerji. I'm going Aguilar to pull the surprise off. I got doubts about Sumudaerji's wrestling defense, and I know that Aguilar is going to fight for your money too. He's all heart, consistent pressure, and pretty good record too on Jesus Aguilar, 12-3, 29 years old. Yeah, he's short. Yeah, he's got T-Rex arms. He's given up 9.5 inches reach. If Mudaerji can jab him from distance, maybe, but I just don't trust in him to just jab from distance. You know, Raposo was able to close the gap on Mudaerji and take him down. And I would say the boxing is better on the side of Aguilar. And Raposo has a 64.5-inch reach, not much longer than Jesus Aguilar. So I'm going to go Aguilar to win. I think decision or submission is a possibility. I'm going underdog Aguilar. Yo, AJ on the doggy dog. Yeah, I was looking at that fucking beat down of Luis Garule. I just felt like Garule looked bad in that fight, bro. Was he sick, bro? I'm like, how are you not getting out of the way at any of these big ass shots? Just kept getting dropped. You know, Sumudaerji doesn't strike like that at all, though, AJ. Sumudaerji, you know, really, really on the balls of his feet. It looks like he's playing basketball out there. He's got a little Sean O'Malley to him. You know, he's loose, he's relaxed, he's harder to hit. Now, a big ass overhand right could find home, like you know, Jesus Aguilar throws that shit from the bleachers. So, sure, you know, that's a threat. But I think Sumudaerji is gonna tee him up on the feet. So then the question is the grappling. And you're right. Jesus Aguilar, by the way, solid guillotines, good submission game, strong mofo. That's more so my concern. But I see Sumudaerji getting up if he needs to. He's used to having everybody wants to take him down. You know, I was watching back some Sumudaerji fights, and I'm gonna go with the favorite here, brother. I think Sumudaerji is gonna be able to really use the big cage to his advantage here and keep this thing in the green zone where he does his best work. You know, Jesus Aguilar is going to have to put pressure on him, get a hold of him in order to do his best work. If it's on the ground, he's going to give Sumudaerji a run for his money, no question about it. But you know, I am pretty damn impressed by Sumudaerji's striking tools, elbows, you know, knees, kicks, punches. He's really got the entire game, and it's a pretty damn dynamic game. He's a southpaw, so I'm gonna go with the Tibetan. And you know, honestly, the best way he can fight here is like, you know, the matador. You know, let the bull come to you, get out of the way. Jesus Aguilar, relatively aggressive. Could he run into something? Yeah, I could see like a knee up the middle or an elbow. I could see Sumudaerji cracking him with something and getting him out of there too. I think that's live. Let's go with Sumudaerji decision.
Respect. The odds for the fight, Sumudaerji's minus 265. Aguilar sitting at plus 225. Over 2.5 sits at minus 150. And then Mudaerji by decision, currently sitting at plus 110. And then on the opposite side, if Aguilar pulled off a strangle, plus 400. Honestly, over 2.5 is not crazy there at minus 150. And Sumudaerji striking is nice. You're right on those points. I guess I just have my Sumudaerji doubts, man. I don't know if Aguilar really pushes that wrestling pace. Could he catch him in a perfect moment with that gill, the threat of the sub, that long neck? I'm just thinking maybe, right?
That's a vice, dude. That's a medieval guillotine, you know, where you took an apple from the cart and they fucking put you in that thing and they start throwing tomatoes at you and shit, you know. You get stuck in that thing. He's got those, he's got those little tiny T-Rex arms. It just works, you know. Patricio Pitbull in his prime was just jumping guillotine. Anytime Patricio Pitbull wrapped that thing up, it's like, yep, fight's over, you know. So that body type works for that arm and guillotine. I don't have that body type. Can you tell? I got some wings on me. So I always had to do no arm guillotine where I go like high elbow. Shout out to Marcelo Garcia, the high elbow GOAT. I think that's always live for Jesus Aguilar, of course, but it's even more live when you want to take him down, you know, and Sumudaerji's not going to want that. I think he's going to constantly want to be at range. He's going to want to be in the town over, and I think he's going to land like 3 times as many punches as Jesus Aguilar. You know, Luis Gurul is much closer to the height of Jesus Aguilar. This guy's going to be a lot harder to get to.
Respect. Finch man going Mudaerji. I'm going to go towards Aguilar. We got a fun flyweight one. Grappler versus striker for sure in the purest essence. And let's keep on running up. Next fight, we get Alberto Montes versus Ricky Turcios. I think Montes should clear in this fight. Turcios moving up to 145. I don't necessarily love that. Montes a good grappler. I don't think Montes is the next coming of Ilia Topuria or anything like that. But I do think he's going to be able to outwork Turcios and outposition him on the ground. And as far as the striking goes, I favor Turcios' kicks, but I think Montes got the better hands between the two. I think Montes could use his physicality, and I think it's an interesting fight in the clinch. I think Montes threatens with submission in the fight. I'm not going to pick Turcios. I really can't bring myself to do it. I think Montes is a decent prospect. I think he can win a decision here against Turcios, outwork him over the 3 rounds, winning some striking exchanges, having some competitive moments, taking him down, finding his way on top. Turcios scrambling, getting back up, even threatening from bottom with strikes. And, you know, I think it's back and forth, but I think it's Montes's path to victory more so than Turcios here.
Montes has the best front headlock in the sport right now. Like, if you shoot on this guy and he gets a hold of that neck and that arm, he's just got a plethora of game. You know, he jumped the Peruvian necktie. He's got the Darce chokes. The Anaconda chokes are fantastic. He'll just roll through. You know, they called that a gator roll when Randy Couture did it to Mike Van Arsdale back in the day. it's unbelievable, you know, and that's coming from a front headlock guy. Okay. I'm a big fan of the front headlock. I remember seeing John Jones slap that front headlock on Ryan Bader and then choke him from there. And I was like, oh man, I gotta up my choke game from the front headlock. And I did, and I used it a lot. You know, the front headlock, you have control of somebody's neck. Their neck is in your arms. And what most people do in MMA is they either cut you loose if they're a striker, or they look to take your back. Looking to take the back is logical, of course, but their neck is in your arms. Like, you can just finish the fight right there. And Montes does. So Montes gets that position. He's more dangerous than Jesus Aguilar. You know, he's going to be able to take a neck, especially on a Ricky Turcios. So I think, Montes, as soon as he grabs that neck, front headlock, Anaconda or Darce probably this time. I don't think he likes the Peruvian necktie. It was pretty cool when he jumped it last time. But Ricky Turcios having, you know, trouble making weight, multiple canceled fights. Didn't he pass out?
No, that was Smotherman. That was
Smotherman.
Opponent. Yeah.
But okay. All right. So he had multiple canceled fights, and now he's moving up a weight class. Not good for Turcios, because Turcios was weak down there, you know. Turcios is a wet noodle, right? Turcios has no consequence to his techniques, right? He can punch you, but you know, it's kind of like a little brother syndrome type thing, you know. It's like he's got no pop, you know. As Rampage once said to Forrest Griffin, he couldn't bust a grape. That was a really bad Rampage impression. I gotta up my
Rampage impression was not your best work. I'm actually disappointed.
I got some good ones, so you know the bar is high. You know,
it is.
Fuck, I messed up there, and I, you know, mildly no Rampage. I gotta step my game up. That's his laugh. I think that Ricky Turcios really won't be able to do much to Montes. Now, Montes, his boxing is not good. But his kick game's pretty good. His grappling's better. You know, Ricky Turcios, relatively well-rounded, always fighting, you know, lands a lot of significant strikes. The dude's going for it. But you know, it's like you're fighting your little sister, man. I feel like Montes is gonna get this thing done. Finish, strangle.
King's World, thank you for the $2 Canadian. LOL, Daddy Finch before GTA 6, Daddy AJ soon. W King's World, thank you for the two.
Well, honestly, King's World, it's really the other way, because I've been with my wife in we in 3 days we'll have been dating, or together, let's just say, for 17 years. For 17 years we've been together. Crazy. My sophomore year of high school. So you know, so we kind of actually waited a long time for baby Finch, but thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Let's go. W Kings. Yeah, I think Montes wins. Did I say decision? I think submission or decision. I don't know. What was my initial lean? I have it written down somewhere over here. My initial lean on the fight, as far as method of victory call, was Montes sub. So I'll stick with the initial. I'll go with you on sub. I think it's possible. Front headlock. The side of Turcios is just not good, bro. It's not even, is Montes all that? I mean, I think he's got a good ground game. It's that Turcios at 145, dude. This just doesn't make much sense. Bullied.
It's gonna get, but it's the senior in high school fighting the freshman, you know?
Yeah, it's an ass whooping incoming. So Montes at -185. Not even a crazy line here, to be honest with you. At open, he was sitting at -185. Line went as wide as -224, back to -185. Turcios +160 dog. Montes submission +235. It's a possibility. Yeah. I mean, the money line is not terrible either at -185. He should clear. I don't think Turcios puts up much of a fight, man.
Yeah. He's he definitely shouldn't be moving up in weight, you know.
No.
What he needs to do is lift weights. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah. Well,
because I'm super jacked, you know.
No. The thing is, he was scheduled to fight at 35 at 324. So it's not like he's had time and he's been taking a year to grow into a featherweight frame. This is just him not cutting as much weight.
Yeah, he's got that Nate Diaz problem where, you know, they don't have the physicality.
At least Nate could box, though, you know.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Turcios
And,
no
and
hand.
Nate has some consequence to the right hand too.
Right.
Like when Nate decides to sit down on that right hand, you're like, oh shit. Ask Leon Edwards. He was looking over here. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, so no, Turcios does not have the nuclear option.
Let's go. Montes, confident, seems high from the Finch and I both should clear.
Turcios will never have nuclear weapons. Ricky Turcios will never have nuclear weapons.
Hey, you made up for the Rampage impression with the Trump Finch.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Next fight on the card, we got Cody Durden versus Naim Jargol Tumendemberel. I'm going with Naim Jargol Tumendemberel. The problem with Durden is he's just a car crash. That's his style. It's pressure. It's aggressive boxing, and it's not bad boxing. Listen, he was outboxing Nascimento last time, but Nascimento is not necessarily a high-level striker. He's known for his jiu-jitsu. Ultimately, Durden walks into a clean shot and ends up getting choked out. Fight before that, got knocked out violently by Jose Ochoa. Before that, Joshua Van beat the hell out of him. He's been taking a lot of damage. Bruno Silva a year and a half ago knocked him out after he looked decent early in the fight. I just don't trust in Cody Durden at this point of his career. These guys actually share the same birthday. Both of them, birthdays the day after the fight. But big age disparity. 8-year age difference between, or 7-year age difference between the two. Tumendemberel's got long reach. He's a pretty decent boxer. He's got some underrated punching. His takedown defense is a little subpar, but his submission game is nice. He's got really good front headlock positions. And could see Durden coming out aggressive, walking into something, and then ending up getting strangled. I would rather trust the Tumendemberel prospect side over the brawler and Durden. So I'm going to go Naim Jargol, Tumendemberel. And I'm going to even say submission. I think club and sub is a real possibility with the way Durden fights aggressive.
Yeah, I think Tumendemberel as well. You know, the old school Cody Durden, who was on a roll, who had the explosive wrestling, come in there with the boxing, even a little bit of submission game. I might lean him, but this recent skid he's been on has me concerned. He had that old line, I had to send him back to China where he came from. Well, Tumendemberel is Mongolian, and I think the Mongolians getting one back for the East, okay? Tumendemberel should be able to outstrike him very cleanly. And if you look at Tumendemberel's game, he's actually a pretty well-rounded mixed martial arts fighter. He'll go for takedowns. If you take him down, he could scramble back to his feet. I think Tumendemberel puts shots on Cody Durden, gets him out of there. Tumendemberel, maybe even club and sub.
I like that. I think Durden, you just can't trust anymore. You're right. When he was on a roll, it was different. But we haven't seen that Cody Durden in a few years, man. His roll was back from 2022 to 2023.
Yeah.
And, what has he got? 1 win, 5 losses across the past 6 fights. And that 1 win is against Matt Schnell. Don't love that. Tumendemberel's UFC debut was a disappointing split decision loss to Carlos Hernandez. But I'll give Tumendemberel a bit of the, debut fight. It was well over a year ago now. He got a quick submission in his last one against the short notice replacements, Terrence Saturn. I feel like he should be good enough to win this one. Tumendemberel, he's, I think, solid enough. I don't know, man. I feel like, the striking of Tumendemberel should be better than Nascimento's. And yeah, you can say Durden was outboxed him in round 1, but he still got dropped. He got dropped by Nascimento. That's not a good look, dude. I had Durden on the show just a favor. Listen, I like Cody Durden as a person, but I'm not going to pick him because he was on the show. I'm picking Tumendemberel, dude. It is what it is. I want Tumendemberel on the show.
After he beats him, get him on. I would say I would say you're on point with that. I would even say that I learned that from you. That you were the first one to be like, yeah, he's off, bro. Like he's off. Something's wrong with his game, and you kept him and you kept being right. And so I think I've been with you though. Joshua Van was better than him. Alan Nascimento, we both picked. So I think I've been with you the whole way. But to be fair, he's 1-5 in his last 6. Okay. So there's the dunk. But then to be fair, the losses are Tagir Ulanbekov, Bruno Silva, Joshua Van, Jose Ochoa, and Alan Nascimento. It's decent competition. I mean,
true.
Joshua Van's kind of got the belt. Kind of not, but kind of got the belt,
He's wearing the belt.
He's wearing the belt. How he acquired that belt is another story. So, Yeah, I think Tumendemberel is the right move because it's not 2022 anymore.
The odds for this fight have Tumendemberel minus 145, Durden plus 125. Tumendemberel by sub sits at plus 450. I do think club and sub is a possibility. Durden could take him down, but Durden is a last resort wrestler these days, not first option. I think a better strategy from Durden would be try and like pressure him against the cage and honestly win a boring decision. Like smother, pin Tumendemberel, hit him with a trip against the cage, get on top, pass his guard, beat him up a little bit, try and test the get up game of Tumendemberel. The problem is with Durden, even if he's shooting these fucking takedowns, I'm afraid he's getting choked out. I'm afraid the gilly's there. You know, the neck is going to be available. And Tumendemberel is good at finding subs. The nickname is Art of Knockout, but don't get it twisted. Tumendemberel's got 6 wins by submission. And I rate his sub game as pretty solid. And I think, you know, at 27 years of age, he's a prospect to watch right now. And I'm going to pick him over the OG tough vet.
Ditto.
Let's go. Tumendemberel for us both. Next fight on the card. Donte Johnson versus Cody Brundage. I think Donte Johnson finishes Cody Brundage.
What?
Johnson, I know. Base pick. Bro, Brundage just got TKO'd at 325 a month ago. Now jumping right back into the fire. They give him powerful hitter Donte Johnson. Right. They give him I say, here you go. Power puncher who's got a knockout at heavyweight. A guy that has actually, I'd say, a bit of a capable submission threat. Pulled off a nice sub against Cedric Dumas last time. And I could see him rocking Brundage and Brundage potentially giving up a neck. I think Donte Johnson wins this fight by stoppage. Should get it done inside distance. It shouldn't be a difficult pick. It's minus 650, so bit of a give me. Johnson inside distance, minus 325. I think there's a real chance that he busts Durden. Durden. He bust up Brundage and TK. I'm thinking all the Codys, man. They got all the UFC Codys besides Gibson on this damn card. I think we got Donte Johnson under a round and a half, probably under 2 at least. Probably hurts Brundage, finishes him. What's Brundage doing right now? You know, he just got TKO'd quick. Maybe not quick. He was stubborn, but he just got TKO'd and beat up bad versus Cam Rouston. And now he's taking a fight against Johnson. I don't love that. I think that Donte Johnson's got some serious power and some money. Right. And I think Johnson stops him. So Johnson for the win.
Brundage is going to need to take this dude down, and that's not going to be easy. You know, Johnson's a very explosive dude, some decent wrestling and some solid power, man. He hits hard, you know. I think it's going to be a first-round knockout for Johnson. I'd really be surprised to see this thing get into the second.
Johnson by KO, minus 200. Johnson to win in round 1. You can find it, plus 120. There we go.
You know, like does Brundage make it to this? I guess he went to the second with Cam Rouston, but Cam Rouston doesn't quite like Cam Rouston's quick and technically sound and has volume. Johnson looks to like home run hits. You know what I mean? He, you know, Johnson's Sammy Sosa. Did you get that reference?
The baseball player.
You get Sammy Sosa reference. Okay, cool. Yeah. He's got the corked bat. Okay. You know, I think it's due for a first round KO with Brundage. You know, Brundage is going to need to be smart, and that's not his specialty. Johnson KO.
Johnson KO should land some big shots. I think sub could be live, like a club and sub is not like a crazy ass take. And the reason I mention it is because it's plus 700 and it's not outlandish, but probably him rocking Brundage and dropping hammers on him. And I think Brundage gets hit, and I think he's turtling up, man. Get knocked out last fight, and then, you know, a month later you turn around and fight a power puncher. It just seems like a bad strategy. So Johnson, high confidence, should handle. We're both picking him inside the distance, probably inside of 2 rounds, really possibly inside of 5 minutes here.
And it's on a little bit of short notice. Donte Johnson was scheduled to fight Dusko Todorovic. Remember, I saw that when I was doing my tape study here, and yeah, man, that's not good, you know? No. So just another reason to think the Johnson KO is happening.
Let's go. Johnson for the dub on both sides. Next fight on the card, Cody Garbrandt versus Long Xiao. I'm going to pick Cody Garbrandt one more time. One more time. The reason being,
I like that.
Long Xiao is not sensational. He's an aggressive pressure fighter who throws wild shots, and he's got some scary elbows. And he's a decent wrestler, but he's not super dangerous with wrestling, and he's not the biggest puncher. It's just a lot of chaos. He's got a lot of submission wins, but at a lower level, at the end of the day, some of these, Chinese fighters have shitloads of fights. This is his 38th pro fight. And, it's a lot on the lower level scene. 27 with 38 pro fights is kind of nuts. Cody Garbrandt on the opposite side. He's a very precise boxer. And say what you want, he lost to Barcelos, but Barcelos is very good in getting a fight into the top 15. Garbrandt still, I thought, won the first round. He caught Barcelos with some nice knees in the clinch, and he still was trying to bring the fight till the very end. I feel like Garbrandt's a lot faster, and I think he's a lot better at boxing than Long Xiao. And I don't suggest to you that we're going to see vintage Garbrandt with like a sick KO for sure. But I think Cody Garbrandt can outbox Xiao, and I think he can land some nice counters. And if he's going to be a lot faster, and seeing him as an underdog against a guy who's 1-2 in the UFC is sad for me, because it's like, wow, he's fallen from grace. This is the man that destroyed Dominic Cruz, was looking like he was on his path to being an all-time great. And now against Xiao Long, he's plus 140 or something like that. So interesting, right? The turn of the tide. I think Garbrandt can still fight. I think Garbrandt can still win. And I think a decision win makes sense. Against a wild striker like Long Xiao, he should find some nice counters, should be able to secure 2 out of the 3 rounds. I think Cody Garbrandt gets on the scorecards, and we'll see some moments where it's Cody no love. And I'll say he does it. I feel like he wins this one. I don't think Long Xiao's got the boxing prowess to chin him. And he's not a big puncher. If you look at Long Xiao's career, he's got 27 pro wins, only 5 by knockout. Sure, one of them is Kwang Lee, but ultimately, Kwang Lee is not the most dangerous guy. So I think Garbrandt to handle.
We were just singing Kwang Lee's praise.
He's a good grappler, but I pick Garbrandt to outbox Kwang Lee too.
It's a tough one. All right. Yeah, I could see Cody Garbrandt winning. Here's my issue, bro. Here's my fucking issue.
Let's hear it. I want to hear the fucking issue.
Cody Garbrandt fights once a year. Like, what does he not need this? Like, what is he in or out? Like, does he care about this or not? The one time I ever went to the Performance Institute, Cody Garbrandt was there working out. So I mean, I'm not saying that he's not training, but why is he only fighting once a year? Like, I really want to know. I really want to know where his head's at. I saw the first Embedded episode. Cody Garbrandt's like, I'm back to my roots. I'm focusing on the boxing and the wrestling. Good. I mean, that's important. I will definitely say Cody Garbrandt versus Long Xiao. Cody Garbrandt's a pretty bad matchup for him. Pretty solid boxing and wrestling. So I don't necessarily think that that Long Xiao is going to just walk out there and put him out. But you always got to worry about that with a Cody Garbrandt fight, especially because Cody Garbrandt's not young. How old is Cody at this point? 34. It's not that bad. He's got miles on the fucking vehicle, though, huh?
That's maybe why he's fighting once a year.
Yeah. I really want to know. I should probably ask his teammates. I know Jeremy Kennedy and those guys should be like, hey, man, is he injured? Like, can you tell me what's going on here? I keep telling my wife we need to move to Vegas, bro. I'd be doing media at all the UFC events. I'd be getting the inside scoop. I'd be giving the inside scoop to all you guys. I'll end up in jail because I'll do something illegal with the betting.
You'll be in Vegas. I will definitely end up visiting, Finch. That'd be easy. What the fuck? It took me going to Vegas, bro.
I live in the most beautiful place on earth, Orange County, California, and you're gonna come visit me in the desert? Fuck are you talking about, bro?
Born in the desert, man. Desert dweller.
Jeez.
Fallout style.
This guy, I've invited him over multiple times. Yeah, maybe. This motherfucker. I'll go with Cody Garbrandt. I think Cody Garbrandt's a relatively bad matchup for Long Xiao. I do think he can catch him in exchanges. I don't think Long Xiao could take him down very easily. I think Cody Garbrandt fighting in moments will work in this fight. Long Xiao is tough, so maybe they go long. Maybe it's one of those crazy Cody Garbrandt late KOs. His last ones have gone long, right? He went long with Raoni Barcelos. Not Davison Figueiredo, though. That was 2024, though. He was beating Trevin Jones and Brian Kelleher, but, bro, Brian Kelleher. And that was 2023.
I know.
Bro, since the Brian Kelleher W in 2023, which was a nice finish, he's fought 2 times. So reasons to be concerned, I present to you. Yeah, slightly in Cody Garbrandt. Let's do it.
I'm going Cody no love, bro. Plus 125. I think he's got a fighting chance here. I looked at the Long Xiao's boxing. I'm like, there's availability for counters. He's getting hit by Kwang Lee. His hands are not that good, you know, and his other UFC fights, the losses, there were competitive fights, to be fair. I mean, you know, Chang Ho Lee, the grappler, he took him down a couple of times. I think Long Xiao might look to wrestle Cody, and I think it'll be interesting to see if Cody still got some takedown defense. We don't know for sure what Cody no love, but what I do know is if I eliminated my bias in knowing Cody Garbrandt, who he once was supposed to be as a UFC fighter, and just went based on his level, I'm like, you know, this is a guy that can probably technically outstrike Long over 3 rounds. He probably loses the 3rd. Maybe gets caught in some exchanges, but fires back. I think he'll take 2 out of 3 rounds. I think Cody on a decision.
Yeah, I guess going Long makes sense too, because Long, get it? Because you know, Long's got a chin on him, bro. When he's bleeding out of his nose, he's happy. He's like,
yeah,
he's a beast. So yeah, let's say they grit out a 3-rounder. Maryland over California. Have you lost your mind? True Silence. What have they put in your coffee over there in Maryland? Bro, name one thing AJ would enjoy more vacationing in Maryland over Orange County, California. I'll be waiting.
I don't know. What is in Maryland?
Who knows what the fuck is in Maryland? Okay. I got the ocean right over there. There's the beach right there. Okay. I got Los Angeles just north. I go to Hollywood. I could take him to the Comedy Store. We could zip down to San Diego, Tijuana if we really want to get AJ in some trouble. You know, what the fuck are we going to do in Maryland?
Eventually, I'm going to have to, you know, visit the Finch, man. And we're going to have to do a little fucking West Coast tour.
We'll go with the baby now. You waited too long. We're going with the baby now.
The baby's coming. It's going to be like fucking Hangover, bro. This is going to be nuts.
Yeah. I live in a complex here, so we got a hot tub and a pool, and, you know, you'll have a great time. You are genuinely invited, not just on this broadcast.
I know. Eventually, I will make it there. And if it's not there, it'll be Vegas.
You told me that 2 years. All right. Okay. I hope so. Hey, I want to make it out to you too, by the way. You know, when I was in Florida, we tried to make it happen, but, you know, I'll be back. I'll bring baby to Disney World at some point.
Okay. Sounds good. Let me know, Finchmeister. W, Cody Garbrandt on both sides. Let's see what happens. Let's jump to the main card. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe. And also, you guys got to check out Mike Finch's MMA University, which I got linked in the description. All right. That's something major for the Finch, man.
Let's go.
This first fight,
she said Maryland has great crabs. That's the best they got. They have great crabs. Holy shit. They are reaching. Thank you for the MMA University plug. It's in the description. Go sign up. It's half off this week. Don't fuck around. Get in there tonight.
Let's go. W to the Finch. Rodrigues versus Ferreira, the rematch. They run it back some years later. You know, I think Rodrigues has gotten a lot better at being technical and calculated with his boxing since their first fight. You know, fight number 1, when he got knocked out, he was still the Rodrigues that would square up in range and just throw caution to the wind. But now we see him being more educated with even some jabs and, you know, exploding in moments, but not just going ballistic for the early knockout and leaving himself vulnerable. And I think a smart Gregory Rodrigues can outstrike Bruno Ferreira here. Even when you look at their first fight, like there were still moments for the younger Rodrigues. And at that time, when, you know, we're digging way back now, 2023, okay, over 3 years ago, I feel like RoboCop had power, but he hadn't quite figured out how to use it, right? The boxing has been a lot sharper over recent years. He just outstruck Roman Kopylov. I think he's going to be able to outstrike Bruno Ferreira. I think it could be a decision win. I don't think Rodrigues has to go nuts for the KO. There's a possibility with his power that he chins Bruno Ferreira, but I think he respects it now. Their last time, let's be honest, I think he underestimated him. He said, this chubby dude on short notice got no chance against me. I was supposed to fight Brad Tavares. I'm breaking into the top 15, and who's this guy? And then he gets chinned violently. Now he's like, okay, this is a legit fighter. Bruno Ferreira just beat Marvin Vettori. He's a dangerous puncher. He's got a good submission game. But I think Rodrigues does everything better than Bruno Ferreira. It's just, does he get caught with something stupid, right? I don't think he does this time. And I'd even argue Rodrigues has better cardio, and he could potentially finish Ferreira in the later stages of the fight. I think we're going to see Gregory Rodrigues get this one back in a big way. And I think he's beaten Bruno Ferreira this Saturday. I'm going for him for revenge.
RoboCop hits hard, man. So does Bruno Ferreira. The consequences are high here. Yeah, he's on one, man. The Roman Kopylov dub is a big deal. You know, aside from the Jared Cannonier performance, I mean, look at these Christian Leroy Duncan, Jack Hermanson. You got to be impressed by this body of work. And I was impressed with the Marvin Vettori performance too. But aside from that, you don't have a whole lot to point to with Ferreira. I think RoboCop could probably walk him down. It's a fun fight. It's a well-matched fight. Slightly into RoboCop, but I get the argument for Ferreira. You know, RoboCop, not the hardest guy to punch in the face, and Ferreira puts people out, man. Ferreira is fast. I think faster than RoboCop. RoboCop's got this big-ass head, and, you know, RoboCop's been shown to slow down a little bit, so, but, you know, Bruno Ferreira being explosive, having moments against RoboCop makes sense. I think overall RoboCop will beat him up, wear on him, put pressure on him, walk him to the fence. So slightly into RoboCop in a good fight between these two. Maybe one of them puts the other one out.
I think RoboCop's a lock. I'm going
a lock.
Yeah.
Bruno Ferreira is faster than him. Yeah.
I think the thing with Bruno is he is going to slow. I think back to the Dustin Stoltzfus fight. He was getting caught and he landed the perfect spinning elbow. But let's say he misses.
Sure.
I don't know about Ferreira, you know, come round 2 against a RoboCop, landing clean and fighting smart. And the shots that RoboCop was catching Cannonier with are a big deal. Yes, he ultimately got stopped, but that was a 5-round fight. And I think even since then has shown more evolution into patience. Like RoboCop, he's accepted. Maybe I'm not knocking everybody out. If the knockout comes, it comes. And I think the style from RoboCop here, because he respects the power on the other side, will be a technical approach. I think he's going to be able to out-kickbox Bruno Ferreira, catch him with some big counters. And I think there is a chance of a 2nd or 3rd round knockout. Like, I think RoboCop KO is there. And if it's in the knockout round 1, that's crazy. That'd be sick. But I actually think a little later, I think round 1, Ferreira will be dangerous and RoboCop will respect the opposite side. Another thing about Ferreira is last time against Vettori, bro, let's not act like he didn't miss weight by 4 pounds. He came in at 189. So, you know, him down at 186, you know, properly cutting the weight. I feel like possibility of, you know, the gas tank woes that he showed against Abus Magomedov being an issue here. And now he's dealing with a dangerous RoboCop on the feet.
And he won't have the submission advantage that he's had. You know, he's hit a couple arm bars. It's going to be hard to arm bar RoboCop, dude. I think you're going to be stuck on the feet with him. So, all right. I was going RoboCop anyway, but I guess I'll warm up a little bit. I'll put a smile on it. All right. RoboCop. Let's go.
RoboCop.
Does he put him out, AJ?
I think it's a possibility of 2nd or 3rd round knockout here, but he could win a decision. RoboCop, he doesn't need to gun for the knockout, but it could come. I think Ferreira could get a little reckless round 2, maybe halfway through round 2, and then potentially get caught with something big. You know, I know it might be wild with the heavy-handed Ferreira and RoboCop, but I think this is a fight that could end up going over a round and a half, which is like minus 103. So, yeah.
You want to hear something terrifying?
What?
Me and RoboCop were born in the same year.
That's fucking interesting. Jesus.
That's crazy, dude.
Holy
he looks like 10 years older than me, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, my God. I'm glad I started having kids. Holy shit, dude. It's over for me. Unless those Brazilian ages, you know, it could be one of those Brazilian ages thing, you know, or they're always 5 years younger somehow, you know. I don't know, but RoboCop is like significantly balding. So yeah, I think RoboCop being 6'3" should be able to just kind of storm down and outstrike Bruno Ferreira, defend takedowns, win the clinch. Such a powerful dude. I'm with it.
Let's go. Finch and I both going RoboCop. Let's get to fight number 2. We got Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. Finch, man, I'm going to throw this one to you first. What do you got here for us?
Yo, you guys know about Drew Dober's reputation, right? you know about Drew Dober's reputation. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? I think it's going to break here, man. I know you're on Drew Dober. I'll just spoil it for everybody. I know you're on Drew Dober. I'm going Michael Johnson. I feel like Michael Johnson's a pretty bad matchup for Drew Dober. And, you know, I can't like you remember when Bobby Green was just teeing his ass up.
I picked Bobby in that fight. And you picked Drew. I remember. I'll never forget. And I was like, oh,
and
Bobby,
you were right until you were wrong. You know what I mean? Like he was teeing his ass up. Yeah, I was on the couch watching that. Like, oh, I fucked this one up, you know. And then Drew knocked him out, right?
Yeah.
So Drew Dober's got a head like a cinder block. I mean, he looks like SpongeBob, you know what I mean? And I think that Michael Johnson's gonna be able to pop, you know, just pop, keep moving on him, keep touching him, boom, put the 2 down the pipe. I think Michael Johnson's gonna have a nice boxing performance here. I like that they're in the big cage, he'll move around, you know, and Drew Dober does have success against a gentleman with melanin. But I think that Michael Johnson's going to avenge his brothers. And I think that Michael Johnson, you know, lands good shots here. It could be a fun one. Michael Johnson might even finish him, bro. Now, Drew Dober is a durable man. Okay. He is made out of titanium. So it'll be difficult to do so. So there is a chance it goes long for sure. But I'm going to say Michael Johnson has a nice performance here. Michael Johnson, KO.
Damn, MJ KO for the Finchmeister. I think Michael Johnson's going to be looking good round 1. But I think Dober's going to be relentless, walking him down. And in those moments when the fight slows down, Dober's going to start cracking him. He's going to start backing him up and landing those big shots. And I think we're going to see the chin of Johnson put to the test. And I think Dober's reputation continues. And I think he's putting Michael Johnson away. I think Michael Johnson's going to look great until he doesn't. I think it's going to be like the Bobby Green fight. And I think Dober's going to eventually crack him. And I feel like, you know, the last fight that Drew Dober had, you know, people are very hard on him because a weird fight actually against Kyle Prepolek. But let's not forget, Prepolek had people thinking Benoit Saint-Denis' contendership days were done. I think Prepolek's a little underrated. And then Johnson's last win against Zahuber, I don't feel like it aged well. I mean, you know, Zahuber just got destroyed by King Green this past weekend, violently knocked out. And I think, okay, you know, what about Johnson getting caught with a big punch? Does the chin hold up? Fighting a guy that can box, fighting a fellow southpaw. I'm going to go with Dober. It's a fucking Dober day. And I'm going to say he lands the big Doberman shot.
Doberman shot. I feel like, first of all, he has like little short arms. That's actually a fact. Let's just go look at that. What is the reach on these boys? Which of course includes the shoulder width, and Drew Dober's got some shoulders on him, but I'm seeing a 70-inch reach. That was more than I thought, versus a 73.5-inch reach. So a reach advantage for Michael Johnson. That's real. So I think it's harder to get to the target. And the way Michael Johnson fights, he's actually a straight puncher. You know, Michael Johnson does keep you at the end of that shtick. And I think that the jab would be an effective weapon. And I think the straight too is going to land as well as soon as he gets the jab going. So I think it'll be a range problem for Drew Dober. I think he'll have trouble getting to Michael Johnson, you know, but his durability maybe will allow him to.
Let's go. Finchman going MJ. Odds for the fight, -110 on both sides. We got to pick 'ems. Finch going Johnson. I'm going to go Dober. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when the cage door closes. Let's get to the next fight. Our featured fight, Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr. I'm going with Raul Rosas Jr. He's the industry plant, but I do think he's going to out-wrestle Rob Font. And I think on the feet, Font's going to hit him with some nice jabs and some decent straight shots. But I think Rosas will show some improvements since the last fight. These two were actually supposed to fight all the way back in September. And then Rosas ended up pulling out of the matchup. And we saw Font since then fight against, you know, David Martinez. And, you know, David Martinez filled in and pulled off a nice win against him. But Rob Font still is competitive against strikers. I mean, his boxing is good. The problem is he gives up so many takedowns, dude. Matsumoto got to him like 6 times. And Rosas, I know the Vince Morales fight was a little ugly because Morales had him in some tight chokes. But to be fair, Morales has that submission weapon, whereas Font doesn't bring a massive threat of submission. And I see Rosas Jr. getting on top, controlling position. I think in the striking, he's getting caught, but it's not like he's going to be knocked flat out. That's the thing with Font. He's got good, sharp boxing, but do I see him knocking Rosas out? I don't. And I think Rosas is going to hit probably like 6 takedowns, maybe more. And if Font's getting up, I think Rosas is back on it. But potential for Rosas to just be positionally dominant, get to half guard and just beat him up a bit and control and, look to maul Rob Font. And possibility of Rob Font getting back up. But I do think Rosas Jr.'s wrestling is the X factor. I'm going Rosas to win a decision.
My honest take is that Raul Rosas Jr.'s a little overrated. Okay? Yeah. A little overrated, right? If you look at his striking, it's not good, and Rob Font has some nice hands on him for sure. But, AJ, hit the ball as usual, which is the takedown defense, and he's New England Cartel and he's around a bunch of wrestlers, but it's not rubbing off. It's not working. Okay. Rob Font's been here for a long time. If he was going to have suddenly rapidly improved takedown defense, probably would have happened before he was 38 years old. As far as Raul Rosas Jr. goes, his wins since that Christian Rodriguez loss have been Terrence Mitchell, Ricky Turcios, Ari Quilang, and Vince Morales. I'm not impressed with that resume, as to where if you look at who Rob Font's been fighting, at least he's been fighting David Martinez. He won the Gene Matsumoto fight. He beat Kyler Phillips, Davison Figueiredo, Corey Sandhagen. You know what I mean? Like this is better work. This is a better body of work. So, I know everybody and their mother's picking Raul Rosas Jr. here, and it might be as simple as Raul Rosas Jr. can take him down, But if there's any issue with that, this shit'll get interesting quick because Raul Rosas Jr. has not shown to be very competent on the feet, and and when you stand up underneath him, like C-Rod did. He could have issues with cardio and issues with being a mixed martial artist. So I'll believe the basic story here, which is that Raul Rosas Jr., who has solid takedowns on the fence, his takedowns are as big as his chin. I think that will work, and he could just kind of submission or decision it. But if he's stuck for any time with Rob Font, you could see Rob Font start accumulating some damage on him. I can imagine Rob Font punching Raul Rosas Jr. in the face a few times. So interesting one, Raul Rosas Jr. is a strong kid. So if he gets on top of Rob Font, Rob's probably going to have trouble getting up to. And, Rob being at the end of his career, Raul Rosas Jr. being towards the beginning of his career, the kid's definitely the one who you would think would be getting better in between fights. So I'm with it. Raul Rosas Jr. decision.
Another element too is Rosas hasn't fought in a while. How much better has he gotten since the past, 11 months? I think he knows Rob Font outboxes him. Rosas, though, I've been seeing his Instagram. He does a lot of boxing work nowadays. So he's trying to sharpen up that weakness. But I think in this matchup here, no need to try and exchange with Rob Font on the feet because he's getting outboxed all day. It's wrestling, it's takedowns, it's control. Rob Font historically has like a 41% takedown defense rate, which is pretty shit. Yeah. And, if Rosas can take him down, let's say Font does he takes him down 2 times around, that's 6 in total. I think he clears for a decision. At the end of the day, Rosas Jr. is a very strong grappler. Even the C-Rod fight, we have to look at round 1. He had good positions on C-Rod, then obviously was broken and stopped later. And C-Rod is a pretty competent grappler, up now in the featherweight division. I feel as though, Rob Font's ground game is just way too much of a red flag for this spot. And for Rosas, he just doesn't really finish. He doesn't shoot for it necessarily, but maybe that's a good thing. Just positional dominance, not taking any chances, then asking for 50K or 100K after a, 29-28 decision, typical Rosas fashion.
That was my best.
He's an industry plant, dude. He's the Chihuahua. He is. Like, they're trying to build him up. You know, he was 17. Like, there's a lot on it. But I think Rosas's wrestling is good. I think his grappling is better than Font's. And I just have doubts about Font on the ground. Davis and Figueiredo flattened them out in round 3 and kind of just controlled. And I think Rosas Jr. can do something similar.
He's a big, strong kid. You know? No.
He's filled out the weight class a lot more too since his earlier fights.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Rosas, you know, how much better is he going to look? You know, what happens? He goes out and he fucks Rob Font up. People's opinions are going to change. You know, he's at that age where you can make crazy improvements in 11 months. And Rob Font is at the age where you might not even be getting better. Like, you know, how many fights has Rob Font had in the past year, right? 2 fights. And, you know, at 38, it's not been looking amazing. Granted, like, he beat Matsumoto in a close fight. And Matsumoto's a striker that took him down 6 times at the end of the day. Striker with some jiu-jitsu. Like, he's fighting a true grappler in this one, you know? So I think Rosas should be able to handle against an aging Rob Font.
Yeah, I'm with it. You know, I think that Rosas is so famous that people might give him a little extra credit. So
yeah,
I want to see it in the cage, and maybe we will.
Odds for the fight: Rosas -225, Font +190. And then looking towards method of victory, Rosas via decision, expected at +135, sub +350. I'm going to take Rosas to win. I think he'll get it on the cards. I think he's a solid favorite to pull through.
Yeah, and I think they're probably going to go long. You know, Rob Font is not incompetent on the ground. Davis and Figueiredo is a black belt. Corey Sandhagen's really solid jiu-jitsu. Jose Aldo, very solid jiu-jitsu. He's fought a lot of, you know, guys who have great submission ability. And, you know, he hasn't been submitted since 2017 by Pedro Munoz. I'm going to say they go long.
Let's go. Finch and I both thinking decision. We're both thinking Rosas. Let's keep it running as we jump up to the co-main event of the evening. Caio Borralho versus Reinier de Ridder. Finch, man, I'm going Borralho to get this one done against de Ridder. It's not that de Ridder's last performance and worst moments are what I'm bringing in here. It's the fact that I think Borralho has good striking, good footwork, defensive grappling, and solid boxing, a clear striking advantage over de Ridder. Now, de Ridder does have a very capable grappling game, high-level jiu-jitsu, good body lock control, takedowns against the cage, good, you know, back control. That fight against Brendan Allen's a hard pill to swallow, seeing him break. But even in round 3, he's still threatening Allen on the ground, as good as Allen's grappling is. Granted, common grappling opponent, though, because Borralho did beat Brendan Allen in karate combat pit submission by a decision, to be fair. But I think Borralho's going to have the takedown defense for de Ridder, and he's going to have a real boxing advantage and a strike speed edge. And, you know, his last fight, he got shut down by Imavov, but Imavov is bar none the best striker in the UFC middleweight division. And you look at it, Borralho had been out for over a year going into that fight. Now he turns around in, you know, less than 6 months, which I like. De Ridder had, you know, crazy run that he went on, starting off, you know, his UFC career, which now has been some time. What was it? Mearshart a year and 3 months ago. But, you know, within a short period, he's fighting all the time. You know, we saw Reinier de Ridder appear in 4 fights in that short period of time, November to this recent October. He's fought 5 times. And obviously that final weight cut probably did get to him a little bit, but I don't want to excuse him breaking on the stool too much now. I excuse it too much. I don't love the look. Breaking on the stool. I know Borralho is going to be going for it as best as he can, regardless of how things go early. And Borralho's a high-level grappler with good strike speed. He's very smart. He's definitely faster at striking. He's definitely a sharper boxer. And I think he can stop de Ridder's grappling onslaught. And then you look at de Ridder's striking. He's got nice body knees, but that's about it. His hands are pretty slow. He's very awkward. He's looking to clinch. I think that Borralho gets him. I think Borralho outstrikes him. I think Borralho outworks him. And I think Borralho is probably going to get it on the judges' scorecards and take it home against Reinier de Ridder. So I'm going Borralho by a decision. Possibility of a counter shot KO, but I like Borralho cards.
Such a tough one for me. I'll walk you guys through my thought process here. These are 2 fighters who are not used to people trying to take them down, right? Neither of these guys are generally the ones who are showing the takedown defense. They're the ones who are trying to drag their opponents to the ground. And, the time that I do recall seeing this was Bo Nickel versus Rainier de Ridder, and Rainier de Ridder did fantastically well against the wrestler. So, Rainier de Ridder making the grappling situations work into his favor could happen here, when he's fresh, and, even against Brendan Allen, like he was pretty dominant with the grappling early on. It was the cardio thing. And it's not a small thing. I mean, of course that makes sense. Now, in all fairness, I did hear you say on your other show, you're like, I don't know if Rainier de Ridder is going to quit on the stool in between the second and the third round. I heard you say that shit, dog. So maybe you are.
I don't think you will.
Maybe you are teeing off on my guy, but it's a fair point. I mean, did he solve that problem? And I think that's priced into the line. Had we not seen that Brendan Allen performance, I think Rainier de Ridder would be the favorite here. But because of that Brendan Allen performance, it's like, okay, are these cardio issues going to continue now? We're back to 3-round fight. But it's the other best grappler. Well, the other best jiu-jitsu guy in the division, so who's beaten Brendan Allen in a grappling match, by the way. So I do think that Caio is a better striker. So the pathway for Caio is like technical striking, pitter patter shots, move around, win a decision. You know who does that better than Caio? Robert Whittaker, and Robert Whittaker couldn't keep Rainier de Ridder off of him. Rainier de Ridder started to gas in that fight too. Another 5-rounder. So you could see why this is a tough one for me. Not that I should pick based off the line, but 2-1, right?
Right now, no, more. Plus 235. So.
Yeah, that's tough for me. Plus 235 is tough for me. AJ and I talked about this one before we came on today. So I see the pathway for Caio outstriking him. I just wonder about Caio's takedown defense. I wonder if Rainier de Ridder gets his grappling going and just wins 2 out of 3 rounds here. So I'll give the ever so slightest lean to Caio, but
you want to go de Ridder, man. I think de
Ridder's a better wrestler. I think de Ridder's better in the clinch. I think de Ridder is stronger. I think de Ridder's submission game is better. Like, even though Caio's very hard to submit, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. De Ridder's submission game just seems to translate well to MMA. He's got a funky style that's his own. And, you guys have seen Bo Nickel bounce back nicely. Bo Nickel's pretty damn good. And the way he dominated him, it's like, and the way he was able to beat Rob Whittaker's defensive wrestling's probably better than Caio's. So I see a pathway for him, but he's not the better striker between the two, and the cardio issues, bro. This is about as close to 50-50 as I've ever seen in my head.
So Finch, man, hesitating to make an official pick. He's essentially telling
before we went live,
do you want to pick the underdog, Finch? Do you want to pick the Ridder? Do you want to do it for the crew? Everybody's they say you want it.
But before we went live, AJ and I talked, and I was like, I don't know who to pick here. I don't know who's going to win this fight.
Get it. All right, so right now, you could bet the money line of either guy.
Oh, I'm not betting on Caio. Yeah,
Would you bet on the Ridder, though?
I give out my bets on my premium channel. DM at Mike Finch Show on Instagram. If you guys want to see my bets, I will be dropping them tonight. You like
Is there no pick from you, bro? You're killing me.
I said slightly in Caio. I'm not fucking pick flipping in a 3-minute window. No, I'm gonna give a slight lean to Caio because Caio lost to Nasruddin Imavov, who's a better striker than him and who outstruck him. It made perfect sense. Rainier de Ridder blew our minds. He gassed out so bad. It was dude, is he having a heart attack? Like, what the fuck is happening here? So with that X factor out there, it's difficult to have confidence at this level. Like, this is a tough fight for me. They're not giving him a bounce back fight, They're throwing him into honestly a tougher matchup than than Brendan Allen. You know, this is a tougher matchup than Brendan Allen. So I don't by any means doubt Caio Borralho. I just I see some massive talent in certain specific areas for Rainier de Ridder, and I also see some massive question marks. Respect. And that makes this a massive what the fuck am I going to pick moment, you know? People would kind of like me picking the dog, right? That'd be like more fun, right? That'd be more fun for everybody if I picked the dog, huh? Well, I'll give my full card predictions on Friday on my channel, and maybe I'll flip, but right now I'll go Caio decision. Caio outstriking him, keeping him off of him, staying out of the clinch. Caio should treat that fence like it's electric. Get the fuck out of the clinch with this guy. No hugs, because Rainier de Ridder will drag you onto the ground. You know, Rainier de Ridder, I was listening to him. I think it was actually the embedded episode as well, where he's like, man, this camp's been like an emotional one for me. He's like, after training, I'm like, you know, having emotional moments because it's like, yeah, he's got something to overcome, man. That was, you know, that was pretty bad what happened to him last time. So I kind of rooting for him. I am.
Plus 235 for Rainier de Ridder, and Mike Finch called this a 50-50 fight. Yeah. Minus 275 for Caio Borralho, minus 170 for an over 2.5. De Ridder on the cards is plus 400. Borralho on the cards plus 125. At the end of the day, I know a lot of people like the underdog love. They think of the value bet towards more of a chance than, you know, what the odds are essentially telling us here, which I don't think is an outlandish take by any sense of the word. But I just feel as though I have to go towards, the Borralho side. I think he should win. I think he should shut him down.
I'd pick Borralho over Allen.
Borralho over Allen? Probably too. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Better jiu-jitsu, good striking. I mean, it's not Imavov level, but it's good striking. Yeah. I think that I'm excited for this one. When I saw this matchup, I thought, ooh, god damn. They put the jiu-jitsu nerds together. Let's go.
Good fight. We're going Caio by decision here. Finch, man, slightly leaning Caio, but I don't know. I could see him pick flipping Friday, guys.
I see you. Show. You're trying to conjure this up, bro.
I see it, bro. I see you pick flipping. I see it. We'll see. I'm not trying to convince you. We'll see.
We'll see. I want to see, is it a good weight cut for Rainier? You know, if he's looking fucking emaciated on the scale, that's not going to make me have a lot of faith in his cardio, you know? Yeah. Let's see what's up.
Let's go. Main event of the evening. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the Finchman's MMA University. We got Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira 2. A decade later, they run it back in what is for the BMF title. And this is the definition of a BMF fight. I actually really find the BMF title fun for legend fights like this. I have to pick Max Holloway. I really believe the striking advantage for Max Holloway is vast in this matchup. Yes, Charles Oliveira has power in his hands. He also has some devastating kicks. But when it comes to the technical elements of striking, Oliveira is incredibly hittable. And he doesn't really throw jabs. There's not a lot of setup with Oliveira. It's big punches. And with Max Holloway, you have a guy that's very calculated, almost like a surgeon with his technical boxing, with knockout power, especially at 155 pounds. Oliveira, I saw this against Topuria. I saw it against Garbrandt. Granted, it wasn't consequential against Garbrandt. He has this tell when he enters range. It's like there's a little hand drop, and he comes forward, and you can tell he's looking to load up a shot. Topuria made him pay and flatlined him. I suggest that also Max Holloway is going to recognize this with Charles Oliveira and get to the chin. I believe Max Holloway has a serious edge in stand-up, and I truly believe in the defensive grappling of Holloway. A lot of people are going to mention how Holloway hasn't fought this level of grappler, etc. But I present another. Sean Strickland hadn't fought the level of grappler Hernandez, and the next thing you know, we're falling into fallacy. The truth is Max Holloway is an incredibly good defensive grappler. Max Holloway trains a ton of grappling. He doesn't have a weakness there. Max Holloway has nasty footwork, which makes him hard to track down and especially take down. And when he has been taken down, he gets up quick. Okay. I think Max Holloway's boxing is going to be the ultimate difference maker. I think Oliveira's getting caught. Just 7 months ago, Ilia Topuria violently knocked him out in the first round. And I believe he's going to be knocked out again here by Max Holloway, who's going to have a big boxing advantage. I'm going Holloway. I'm going knockout. I wouldn't be shocked if this is a first round KO. I'd like to see the fight play out and last a little while and, maybe some moments, but I think Max could hurt Oliveira round 1 like he did to Dustin Poirier, but potentially actually put him out. I think the Oliveira chin is going to be there to get hit. And ultimately, I think Max Holloway is going to take this victory. And I'm seeing a knockout in a BMF title defense for him. Number 2 on the BMF title defenses. We're going Holloway for the win.
I think everything you just said is true, but I would just also say that, if like Ilia Topuria took Max down real quick, right? And Max just pops right back up. If Charles Oliveira takes him down, Charles is climbing on that back and Charles is taking that fucking neck. I don't think he can afford giving Charles Oliveira any moments. I think Charles Oliveira strangling Mateusz Gamrot is a tall task because Mateusz Gamrot is a great wrestler. He's a wrestler by nature, as to where Max Holloway is a striker. Charles Oliveira will be quite dangerous with the grappling aspects of this. But, AJ pointed to it with the Sean Strickland example. And if you look throughout Max Holloway's career, Dustin Poirier is a jiu-jitsu black belt. Alexander Volkanovski is a pretty solid wrestler. And, they fought 3 times and the grappling wasn't a decisive piece of that fight. It was actually the striking of Alexander Volkanovski. Frankie Edgar is a wrestler, Brian Ortega, who Max Holloway was able to outstrike handily. So even though Brian Ortega didn't get a ton of wrestling going in that fight, it's like these are camps where Max Holloway was training that takedown defense. I do think he has pretty elite takedown defense, and that'll be why I pick him here. He should be much better on the feet than Charles Oliveira. I think he'll let his hands go. His volume will be much higher than Charles Oliveira. Charles on the feet has weapons like he can blast you with a hook, or he could blast you with a knee, as to where Max Holloway is going to accumulate damage on him. And, Max Holloway does have more power at 55. I don't know if it's some type of unbelievable power. Charles Oliveira has been fighting guys with power his whole career. But I do think that Max Holloway should be just winning rounds handily, as long as he's not on his back, as long as Charles Oliveira doesn't take him down. The real risk here is that Charles Oliveira shoots, climbs on that back, gets over that jaw, doesn't even need to get under the neck and strangles him. That's his best pathway. Charles Oliveira has his dad in town this time. It was his dad's first time coming to America to see him fight. Charles' dad goes, "I'm sure we will take this belt because it's God's will." I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm sure God is, concerning himself with who wins the bad motherfucker title. I'm sure that's exactly what God's doing on Saturday. Forget what's going on in Iran. He's going to be wanting to know who's the baddest motherfucker on Saturday. That's exactly what God's doing. So maybe he's right, but I'll go with Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway dots him up, probably gets him out of there late, lets his hands go. The footwork makes Max Holloway hard to take down too. I remember Conor McGregor's coach, Owen Roddy, say it's actually something about how Conor stands where it's hard to shoot on him, because you can't quite guess where he's going to be with his feet. And it's the same thing with Max Holloway. Like Max Holloway has this he's always kind of standing on, how could you say? It's shifty. And so it's pretty hard to kind of line that up. And it goes back to what you said, Charles Oliveira, he likes to come in and kind of crash in. And I think against Max Holloway, he's going to eat this, eat that. Max will cut that angle. I think Max is a pretty bad matchup for him on the feet. Let me emphasize Max Holloway TKO round 4.
I like it. Max Holloway for the knockout makes a lot of sense here. I think big shots are going to be landing. I think Holloway's hands are going to be doing the work. Can you imagine a crazy world though? Holloway rocks Oliveira, catches him in a fucking gilly, proves a point, says, fuck it. I'm going to submit Charlie O for the BMF.
No, I cannot. No, I cannot.
No likelihood.
No, I cannot. If he jumps the gilly, he is silly officially. No, if he cracks him, I think he should just keep throwing punches. That's what he does too. Whenever he cracks somebody, he just starts unloading shots. then he really sits down in his shots, you know. He's not the hardest puncher ever, but you're right that he punches harder at 55 and just a deceivingly big, actually. Even when he was at featherweight, you know, I did an interview with Max Holloway at the Arnold Sports Festival. And when I met him, that was the first thing I said to him. I'm like, you're bigger than I thought you would be, man. You know, like he's a big dude. He's like, I'm Hawaiian. We love to eat. We love whatever he said to me. Hawaiian rolls. I forgot what he said to me. The interview is actually on YouTube. Type in Mike Finch, Max Holloway. Guarantee you it'll pop up. I think Max Holloway can look good at the BMF title defense here and finish Charles late.
I think so. He sits on his punches better at 155. And I think he's a different animal at 55 too. He's great at featherweight, but I think he's great too at lightweight. And I think Oliveira is getting stopped. I think Oliveira had his big moment last time against Garbrandt, winning in Brazil, you know, lifts his baby up in the octagon. That was a beautiful moment. But I think this fight here, Holloway more primed, younger guy. And I think he's got potentially a crack at the title coming for him next year or even later this year. So Max Holloway for the W for the Finch. And we both are predicting KO for Max Holloway. As far as the betting lines for the fight, the money line for Max Holloway is -225. Charles Oliveira is +190. Max Holloway to win this fight by knockout sits at +150. Inside distance at +110. If you think maybe he decides to pull something crazy out with the submission, the sub line for him is +1,000. Charlie O by sub, though, +325 if you're on that side. But we both think the Max Holloway side, the A side, is going to be doing the damage, getting some big shots off, and showing high-level boxing. And that's the ultimate difference maker.
I think so, man. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. It's a cool BMF title fight. You know, you could hate on Charles and be like, but he quit previously in his career. How is he the BMF? He's a bad motherfucker because the way he fights, man. Charles Oliveira goes into the fire. He lives and dies there, you know?
Yeah.
And I think he's going to die there on Saturday, unfortunately. But he'll make it a fight. That's for sure.
Let's go. Finch and I both going Holloway for the main event. It's time for the parlays to play.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Parlay time. Open up your wallets and let's bet on some fist fights.
Yeah, parlay time. Lord knows I ain't gonna touch this co-main event for Saturday night. Yeah. I think I'm gonna give you guys. Well, I should do one that AJ agrees with. Actually, I was looking at one we disagreed on. I'll keep it to myself. Yeah, I should go with one we agree on. You were pretty heavy on Alberto Montes over Ricky Turcios too. I think we're in solid alignment there. So let's go Alberto Montes submitting Ricky Turcios. Of course, I'm just talking straight money line when we're talking a parlay. AJ's got the second leg.
I'm going Max Holloway. It's time for the main event picks to get back on business in a big way. And I see Holloway pulling this one out. I'm confident Max Holloway takes it home. And plus 125 for an Alberto Montes and Max Holloway parlay. That's pretty good to me. Both clear paths to victories. And I see both taking W's home this Saturday. Let's go, Finch.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I watched your previous video and I'm like, oh, he got a lot of comments. And I'm scrolling through the comments. Can you motherfuckers lay off my boy? Okay. Damn. Like AJ's out here grinding, doing mad research. He's putting shit out every single day for you guys. And you guys are just, people can't wait to dunk. They can't wait to dunk. Really, motherfucker? You post your picks every single week and you'll end up being surprised. You know, you'll be like, damn, I'm not as smart as I thought I was. AJ is out here doing this work for y'all, and y'all better show my boy some goddamn respect because AJ's been on some dope streaks too. I mean, I remember some solid streaks AJ's been on. There's a little main event lull we got going on, you know. AJ might have given out a Macy Chiasson, and I know I might have had to grab my phone while I was watching live just to talk some shit in the chat as well. Yeah. But let's remember, AJ is good at picking fights. Quit bullshit.
Listen, at the end of the day, I appreciate it because it tells me we're in the penultimate shift of the channel on a massive growth streak now. You know what I'm saying? We're going more mainstream. than ever before, and the cult keeps getting stronger. So I'm hype about it. At the end of the day, I'm back in a big way this week. My main event pick with Finch and I both, it's going to get back on track. You're going to see March get back on business. And listen, this beautiful fight game is fun with a risk of losing too. You know, if it was just win after win, what would it be if the prediction was all accurate every damn time? As sick as that would be, where's the fun in the chaos? You know, the surprise is a beautiful thing.
I've seen it melt people, bro. I saw MMA Guru caving, you know. I remember the chat lighting him up, and I remember him saying, he's like, you know, maybe I won't even do these anymore. He said something along those lines, bro. Like, it was getting to his ass. You know what I mean? There was that other dude who quit for a while, you know, so shit eats people up, you know. AJ, excuse me, I'm sick. AJ's got thick skin. I'm just fucking around a little bit, but you know, AJ gives you guys some solid analysis, and I always learn something talking to you every single time, AJ. So
thank you, bro.
Just wanted to show that love.
I appreciate that love.
Not Joe Guy. So you're not named Joe? Is that what you're saying? You have another name that is not Joe. AJ and Finch, I just got here, about to watch the whole show from the start. Congrats on MMA University. Thank you. I appreciate it. AJ's got it linked in the description below. You guys can learn MMA from the ground up. Really, it's just striking bag tutorial is the first thing. That's my course. I do want to have other people do it. You know, I'm already talking to some different fighters about doing it. You know, there's a UFC fighter who opened a gym here recently. There's a Bellator fighter who opened a gym here recently. So I'm talking to them about maybe doing something fun. And dude, I'd be happy to travel to shoot these. So yeah, maybe I'll build something cool here. So guys, to help me out, jump in early, right? Hit the link. It's gonna be half off all week. Just get it tonight. And you guys will be able to take my course and let me know what you think. You know, I'm super curious to see how you like it, what you think. You can comment on my videos. It's the best place to talk about it because you're also helping my algorithm, but you're welcome to message me as well. And, you know, just excited to finally get it launched and really appreciate the platform to launch it, AJ.
Hey, of course, my boy. Of course. Rhett Robbins, thank you for $9.99. Hot streak starts today. Let's go, dog. Big way. Come back. Let's go. Listen, I ain't never left, bro. I ain't never left. It's not a comeback. It's not a comeback. It's just back on business like usual.
Don't call it a comeback. Crazy motherfucker named AJ.
Hey, W Finch, click on his link to join MMA University. Click on his link to go watch his show. He's live after this. He'll be dropping his 5 most confident picks. I assume at least 4 out of the 5 will be linked up on. So me and Finch going to be bringing some savage calls. And I'm not just going for money main event pick, lock hit. And I could see a confident pick sweep on this card. So we're making magic happen. All right. Keep it locked in on the channel. Subscribe, smash the like button, and go watch the Finch, man, and give him a chance at MMA University. He's got a beautiful passion project turning into something that could be pretty damn sick. And I'm excited for him.
Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate it, AJ. Yeah, a few people have tried it out already, you know, gave it to some of my clients already, and they got in there and tried it out because I needed some like quotes, you know, I need some people who've taken it and we'll see what they think. And AJ's got it too. AJ's in there too. So AJ, you're talking about leaning out. I got you with the bag work combos, baby.
Let's go. I know. I'll send you some vids. Let's go.
I like that. Yeah, that was something I was thinking about doing with it, is like people send the videos in and then I critique it. I like to critique.
That'd be sick. You could do like a live stream for that, man.
Yeah, yes, some virtual coaching, which there is you know, there is something sort of in that realm that Razor Rob McCullough and his wife Shani Smash do. So this is my own thing. I'm gonna start with this, and I'm interested to hear the feedback, and I just want to make it the best. Like, I want to make it the best and unique, and I think I've got I think I'm on the right track.
Let's go. I'm excited for you, Finch.
Thank you,
people, we love yous. Go watch the Finch Man show. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Content dropping overdrive, bro. Constant content. So keep it locked in with me, and we'll make some magic happen. Love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.